Let me read a passage out of James chapter 1, verse 9 and 10. Believers in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high position, but the rich should take pride in their humiliation, since they will pass away like a wildflower. These are the words of Jesus' little brother James. So I'm doing some abridged version teachings on the New Testament letter of James, and this is the second one. You can find the first one either on my Facebook page or on YouTube under Barney Wiggett. But I find that it really helps to know something about the author of whatever Bible book I'm reading at the time. And did you know that Jesus had half brothers and sisters? Of course he did. But one of them was James. And think about what it must have been like growing up with as Jesus' little brother. I don't know, watching him, I don't know, on the soccer field, picking up the kid on the other team, always quoting Leviticus at the dinner table, always doing the right thing. Pretty tough act to follow, I would think. It's probably why James didn't become a disciple until after Jesus rose from the dead. But reading his letter makes me think that James picked up a lot from his big brother, especially on the topics of money, power, prejudice, privilege, classism. I mean, I think he clearly learned from Jesus that Christianity and classism clash. That's the theme of the epistle, in my opinion. And if you want to know what Jesus taught on socioeconomic topics and on class, read James. I mean, he wasn't a believer until later, but I think he absorbed a lot about how the kingdom of God works. I mean, he includes so much in his epistle about from the Sermon on the Mount, and I'm thinking about that because I'm writing a book on the Sermon on the Mount right now, but it makes you think that James might have snuck in among the crowd to listen to his brother, I don't know, or maybe the principles of the kingdom of God and the Sermon on the Mount so oozed out of Jesus that James picked it up by example. I mean, he grew up hearing and seeing the way that Jesus treated people, especially given the prominence in his letter, especially the poor and the powerless. And can't you just see young Jesus bringing people home for dinner every night? Not so much his buddies from soccer camp, but widows and orphans that he encountered on the way home from school. You know, people say maybe for practice he healed sparrows and multiplied breakfast for the family every morning. I don't know about that, but I think it was pretty likely that he washed the feet of homeless orphans and widows at his home. And can't you just hear James at the table? You know, another time Jesus brought homeless people home for dinner. Seriously, Jesus? I mean, who is this guy now? I mean, couldn't we just once have a family dinner without all these indigents who smell bad and eat our food? Jesus responds, "Well, sorry, bro, I just couldn't help myself. It's a matter of not having enough. Well, then they can have my plate. I mean, I'm happy to fast. I mean, plus it just seems to me that everybody is family, right? And besides, what about those who don't have their own families?" Mary whispers to James, yeah, just be patient with him. I know he's different. I know his ways are strange to us, and it's inconvenient to have him as a brother, but give it time and see if some of these things don't make sense down the road. In the meantime, just pass the pasta, will you? So a few years later, James gets converted, and he becomes this full-on adopter of the upside-down way of Jesus. And he says, real religion, the kind that God likes, is to feed homeless people and loveless people and give them the best seat at church. So God, in his gospel, he obliterates the notion that the upper class and the underclass categories even exist. Jesus' outlandish way of viewing humans is classless. He just doesn't see class. So whether you're talking about distinctions like socioeconomics or gender or race, which is right on the front page these days, and should be. James puts it all in the same category called human. We're all constructed in the image of the divine. So this is how Christianity and classism clash. So next time, I'm trying to keep these real short, by the way. So next time, we'll start unpacking the letter itself. But in the meantime, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.